Welcome to MCC Made, the official podcast of Metropolitan Community College.
Giving you a backstage pass to all things MCC with your hosts, Emma Frazier and Catherine Riggs. Well, usually you come to me with something.
Well, now you can come to me.
I'm coming to you right now.
Okay.
Live. I'm on a group chat with some of my cousins.
Okay.
And I don't remember how it came up. If someone was under the weather, and I don't remember if they were under the weather.
Okay.
And it was discussed that all they wanted was a specific color of Gatorade.
Yeah.
And then this led to a hot debate about what the best Gatorade, what is your go-to Gatorade flavor? And then it led into, well, if I'm just drinking it, which I'm like, do people just drink Gatorade?
Are you 12?
Younger than that, I even thought. I was like, I don't know anybody who's just casually drinking one, I guess. Anymore.
Yeah, I think the last time I seriously drank Gatorade, seriously, was in junior high, at a basketball game, and it was at the concession stand, I guess.
And
then it was in the okay. Because it was in the tall, skinny bottles with that twist top.
The sport mode.
Yeah.
Sport mode. But then they were talking about when you're ill, what is the best Gatorade flavor?
I am a light blue gal through and through.
Okay, so I think that was a big consensus, but then some people said they wanted yellow.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. I don't know that I would ever willingly drink a yellow Gatorade.
Wow.
Hot take, I don't really like I don't like drinks. No, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. There are certain lemon flavors that I just don't like.
Yeah.
I don't dislike lemon in general. I like lemonade. But lemon flavored.
Lemonade, yes. Gatorade.
No.
No.
I'm trying to think of what the distinction between that is. But if there's any sort of or even a liquid IV, if it's lemon lime flavored, no.
Mm-mm.
I don't want it. There's something so ugh,
when it's a synthetic, there is some, when it's too artificial. It's gross.
I just don't like it.
But that came up about somebody said yellow. There were some reds.
Sure.
And then there was some white.
Yeah. I guess I would drink white. I couldn't even think of what that flavor is, to be honest.
I'll tell you because I just had to buy it because I had a sick husband.
Oh.
And he was I was going to the store and he was like, will you get me a Gatorade? And he never asks for Gatorade. Actually, here's an even crazier take that then sent people into a real tailspin is he would prefer.
No. Sam.
Powerade.
Sam.
Wild. Actually, since I've known him, I actually knew that about him because he would be more likely to grab a Powerade. If he's the one buying. But if I'm the one going to the store and he's ill, he asked for Gatorade. And I was like, well, what color? And he said white. And I was like, this is wild. And it's literally called white lightning.
Yeah.
Not a flavor.
No. I mean, if someone handed me a Powerade, sure, I guess. Also,
well, that's so great because I have a Powerade. I've been waiting for you to prompt me.
I knew that. You know what's funny is in my adult life, I don't know that I have ever bought. Well, I don't really buy Gatorade. Even sick, I'm like I literally just drink some water.
Okay, so here's my Here's my my reveal is I could not tell you the last time I drank Gatorade. Even like as a child, like when I was slightly sporty spice.
Mm-hmm.
I was not drinking Gatorade. I was drinking water. But also, like, if I'm ill or have been drinking something else the night before and feeling it the next day, I don't want that. I've never been like, ooh, I wish I had a Gatorade right now. Never in my life.
Yeah, I feel like when Brandon and I got COVID. Of course, now this has been 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And his mom like brought us stuff, and some of it was she brought Gatorade, and which is great and fine. But like that was never something I would have bought myself. My mom never got us Gatorade when we were sick. I would say I have at my house, I have like Liquid IV, which I guess is just like the adult version of Gatorade. But I don't even use that much.
Also, I would like to correct myself. White is called Frost.
Frost.
Well, okay, there's a lot. No, it's mostly Frost, Glacier, Cherry.
Cherry.
Which honestly makes my husband's choices more confounding. Never known. Also, if you Google white Gatorade, there's a Reddit thread that is Reddit energy drinks, which I can't even imagine the discussions on that thread, but it says, is the white Gatorade good? If you need to come to Reddit to figure that also just like maybe just buy one and try it and make your own decision. And somebody said, yes, this is my second favorite Gatorade flavor. The first is green apple.
Well, that person needs to
call
be in jail.
The police. Yeah,
that person needs to be in jail. Which
I can almost never find because it's so rare. Because
it sucks. Drinking green apple. No,
drinking green apple. What are you doing? A green apple lollipop? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Drinking green apple. Jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight jail. You get no.
Also might be a hot take. I don't know. I don't like grape flavored beverages either.
Me neither.
I don't like it.
If it's wine.
Sure. Well, that's not grape flavored. That is grape.
That is the ultimate grape flavor.
That is grape. That is grape. It reminds me of Dimetapp. Always. Which I do. No.
Wait, what?
No.
It reminds me of like when I was little and I'd have to take like the chewable tablets of like Motrin.
Yeah.
And it was so chalky. But then I would like prefer that to the orange tablets.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Yeah, we were a Dimetapp fam, the liquid. And
this
that was
podcast sponsored by Dimetapp.
Right. Yeah, so that's like what grape flavored stuff reminds me of. And I'm just not here for it.
And that's fine.
I'm not in. I as an adult, not into Gatorade.
No, I'll be skipping over it. I'm drinking water. And if I'm sick, like if I have like a cold, I'm drinking Emergency.
Yeah. Now,
this podcast sponsored by Emergency.
Do you do the fizzy Emergency or the flat? Or is there a fizz?
I don't think there is a flat.
I don't know.
That'd be gross.
Gross.
No, I do. And my sister taught me this trick is and everybody's like, ugh, but no, it's so good. You know what? It's good. You make an Emergency in a mug.
Okay. Hot?
And then, you do. And then you microwave it. So then it's like hot, like tea.
What flavor?
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
honestly, every flavor is better hot. But if you can find it, there used to be like a tropical flavor. And honestly, that flavor ruled.
I have that at my house.
It's so good. Do it hot. The raspberry is good hot. There used to be like a berry mix, like mixed berry. That was good. The orange is like very rarely actually my first choice, but you can find it the easiest. It's actually better hot than it is at colder at room temp.
You know, that's funny. That makes sense.
Like if you like tea when you're sick, then you might as well just do this.
Yeah.
It's got more vitamin C in it. So.
when I had a Keurig, got like you could get like Dayquil and NyQuil pods. But again, it's the same thing. It's just like the flavored, but it's like then a beverage. So it's like I'm drinking like a tea, but
what is the flavor?
It's orange, I think. Orange or orange.
You got two choices.
Yeah.
Orange or orange.
Red orange or blue orange. I don't
know.
But
orange glacier.
again, I think it is just that when you're sick, the warm bev helps.
Yeah. It's like how you want soup.
Correct.
Does it help? I don't know.
I don't know.
Feels good.
Better than Gatorade.
We apologize to all of our people currently drinking Gatorade as they listen to this podcast.
Yeah, we're absolutely not getting sponsored by Gatorade.
That's a big fish we're never going to land. Well, you know what? Usually you have to be like an athlete to land a Gatorade deal. So I think we are very safely.
I don't know. We could.
Now imagine the commercial with us two, like we're talking so hard that we are sweating Gatorade like the commercial under these hot lights.
We're talking so fast.
And I am just profusely, I look like that scene in Airplane when he's trying to land the plane and he's sweating so hard, but it's just blue.
Podcasting is very athletic work.
It takes a lot out of us. I have to go on rest after all of this.
That's true.
So do not disturb.
Right. So sorry to Gatorade.
But Gatorade, if you like that idea, give us a call.
Yeah.
If you're looking to switch up,
yeah,
market to people.
You know what? Podcasts are hot in these streets.
Yeah.
Gatorade.
Everybody has one. Look at us.
It's called diversifying. Okay.
Your portfolio.
Okay.
Michael Jordan who? Come to us.
And I took that personally.
That's what he'll say when he finds out we have a Gatorade deal. He'll be like, I had to win like 5 championships to get that.
Mm-hmm. These gals, these yappers, just sure.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
Something sweet we can both agree on is that besides Gatorade is yeah.
Yeah.
We love chocolate.
We love chocolate. What a segue.
What a segue.
What a pivot.
Mm-hmm. So today on the podcast, we have Lindy Pearson, who is the owner of Nibbs Chocolates and Desserts. Welcome, Lindy.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Because
this is a topic I care deeply about, honestly. So.
I guess first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You are an MCC alum. So I guess kind of walk us through
what brought you to MCC in the first place and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was kind of in the middle of job searching back when I graduated from Wesleyan in Lincoln. Mm-hmm. I had a business degree and I just couldn't really find anything that I was super excited about. Applied for a lot of jobs, didn't really hear anything. And I was working as a line cook at Cultiva Coffee. Oh. And I was like, man, I kind of like cooking for people. So then I was like, maybe I could go to culinary school. We'll think about that. There was a culinary school in Lincoln at Southeast Community College, but they just had a general culinary program. And I found MCC and I was like, wow, this is like an hour away. And they have a baking program, which I was super into at the time because it was like Cupcake Central was like booming at that time. And I was like, I want to own a bakery. So I was like, okay, well, why don't we just go study pastry at Metro? And so I moved up here in 2018. I spent like a year between school. Like I said, when I was job searching, moved up here for the pastry program. Had a wonderful time. Participated in Culinary Team Nebraska, where I was the pastry chef. So I got a ton of practice with anything I could imagine doing, which was really exciting. I had so many ideas like piled up in my brain that I just hadn't gotten to yet. So that was a great opportunity to dive into those. Kind of got caught with COVID a bit. I was like 3/4 of the way done and then everything closed. So I was kind of in that weird spot where like we weren't quite online yet.
Right.
Right.
So kind of took an accidental hiatus there.
When doing culinary school online is
Yeah.
got to be a little tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have figured it out now.
Sure.
We've got a few years under our belt. But at the time, it was just like, what is happening? So accidentally stopped going to school for about 2 years. But at the time, then I was the pastry chef at V-Mertz and at Okrant at the same time.
Two heavy hitters.
Yeah, so we had a lot of experience there. And then I kind of came back to Metro and did the test course for second year pastry to kind of be like, okay, I did the things that you said I should learn here. I can do them. And kind of did a bunch of paperwork and got the last bit of school sorted through that and officially graduated last maybe 2 winters ago now.
Wow.
Yay.
Yeah. So now we have a pastry degree. Yes. So what Metro was a huge part of my transition, moving to Omaha and meeting all the people in the food industry here. And my time at Okrant and Mertz, I had a ton of time to work with chocolate, which was probably my most enjoyable thing that I got to do at both places. And again, kind of during COVID, I had all this time to like mess around with stuff at home.
Right.
Started selling stuff on Facebook, mostly like friends and family. And then about 6 months into that, I was like, man, people I don't know are ordering. Should probably find a way to make this more legitimate. So did some searching for industrial space or like commercial kitchen space. Didn't have a ton of luck with like private renting. And then found the Kitchen Council in Council Bluffs, which is owned and operated through the Potawatomi Arts and Culture Events Center, supported by Advanced Southwest Iowa Corporation. And they're a great organization uplifting small businesses like ours and helping us get off the ground. So we're about 3.5 years old now.
Yeah.
I know that was kind of a long
No, that's all right.
story of how we came from Lincoln, but that's how we got here.
Well, now I have more questions, which is good. I guess unrelated to, education. Although not really. Chocolate is kind of finicky to work with.
It sure is.
I was like, I feel like you picked a very hard niche.
Yes, it is quite temperamental, but I've had a lot of experience working in different environments with it. Like my home environment is completely different from a restaurant environment, completely different from school environment. But through that, you kind of learn how to work with your materials in each space. And even in my current space, I work with it differently throughout the seasons. So winter is great. It's dry. It's cold. Everything sets beautifully. We're kind of getting into that humid season where I need to pay attention more.
So you have to keep it frigid in your shop, I assume.
Well, we don't have control of the temperature in our shared space. It's just a general,
Just a set.
Okay.
environment that they have preset, and sometimes it fluctuates a lot. But that makes us all better at paying attention to those things and making adjustments where we need to.
Yeah. I
Very top chef. They go to the restaurant and they're like, it is boiling in here and my souffle has fallen.
my chocolate is melting.
Yes, that is actually.
Yeah.
That was on this season. His ice cream would not set because it was too hot.
Oh yeah. It's definitely rough in the summer. It's tricky.
Yeah. Of course, I am a kid of when the early 2000s when the Food Network was
Yes.
Popping off.
popping. And I'm just picturing all these people making these chocolate sculptures. And that just seems very stressful to me. Do you do chocolate sculptures?
I do not.
Oh my God.
I did one for class. There was a part of our practical, and I was like, all right, we don't need to do that ever again. And
I
What
said,
was your sculpture of, though?
it was very abstract. It was not anything specific.
So that way, if it melted a
mostly
little bit, you were like,
geometric.
it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, it was mostly geometric. It needed to be a certain weight and height, and I had no clue how to get it to be those requirements. I was like, I guess I'll just make it really flat and tall.
Sure.
I don't know. Could have probably done some more brainstorming with it, but it was a tough practical.
I was like, I would not have guessed that was part of the practicum.
No, me neither.
But sure. What other things did you have to do for your practicum?
We had to make a few filled chocolate bonbons, some dipped, I guess they're also bonbons, but like dipped pieces, and then the sculpture. And we only had 1 pound of chocolate to work with. So you had to be very careful about what you decided to do with your sculpture because you needed enough to make your bonbons with it too. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it was tricky. I think if I did it again, I would have hoped that they had you make a chocolate box or something. Like, you gotta glue the pieces together. I feel like that would be fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, you said you were a line cook.
Yes.
I guess was there a reason that you decided to do pastry instead of like just doing?
I just have always had a sweet tooth. My mom always described herself as someone with a sweet tooth, and her dad and my grandpa, same thing. So we have just like loved candy ever since the beginning of time. My dad's side of the family, his grandma, I think, worked at the Russell Stover's factory.
Oh my God.
So it's just like all coming together. Just like, why don't we get into chocolate?
It literally runs in the family.
But yeah, it was just a really fun medium to work with. Pastry in general, it's just like, I love all the building blocks that goes into it. And I like the specificness of it too. I feel like that's always a divider with baking and savory is like you either like the free form of like just go with it, or you want the written down.
I want a rule.
And I was about to say, you're at a table that is split because
so I like the exactness.
She's the exactness and I'm the needs a little more of this.
Yeah. I want a recipe. I want to follow it, and I want to know that what it's going to look like when I'm done, when I've followed the instructions.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like the creative license to jazz up if needed, and it won't.
Yeah.
it won't flop, literally.
So I guess you, in your break during COVID, you worked at a restaurant. Did you feel like you had, obviously you had enough of the skills to work at Vmorts and Au Courant without a degree.
Right.
Which is impressive. So I guess why did you decide to come back and finish?
I just always like, again, kind of with the exactness, like I was like, well, I worked this hard. I gotta like get the paperwork that says I did it.
Right.
And I know in Omaha, it's a pretty close-knit community. Like if you just said, I went to Metro, people are gonna be like, okay, great. You know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was just, in the future, if I decide to move, it'd be great to have that on paper and give it to someone and be like, hey, I got the skills that you need.
So you had a business degree before.
Yes.
Was owning a business something that you always kind of had in the back of your head, or how did you decide? Well, you said that on social media, the people were just buying your chocolates, but did you ever think that was really what you were going to be doing?
I think as a high school student, I always had this like dream of like having a bakery, and that's always kind of like an Instagram dream.
Yeah.
I feel like where it's just like, oh, it's so fun.
A Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Like,
but obviously owning a restaurant is much different than the Instagram story of owning a bakery. But I never really got into it with that driving idea, I guess. It just kind of was something where people wanted to buy them, and I was like, I guess I could see where this goes. And it worked out.
Yeah. I can't remember now if it's an episode that has already aired or for an episode that's coming, but Catherine and I talked about sourdough bread.
Ooh,
yeah.
And people
with their starters.
Anyway, and I said in that intro, I said, maybe instead of just going straight to the farmer's market, maybe like see if your bread is good.
Yeah.
See if people actually want to buy it.
Let's just take a step back.
Your friends and family. And so that's very funny. They're like, I thought I was just selling to my friends and family, and then
and it turns out,
your
your word of mouth was crushing it.
It's happened. I mean, too much sourdough. I'll say that again.
Yeah, let's just.
I've seen enough.
Just because you have a starter doesn't mean you need to sell it. We're alienating all of our sourdough starter listeners.
So sorry, you guys are great.
Yeah.
We did make
It's not your starter that
yeah.
we're mad at.
Yeah, no, it's everybody. It's everybody. It's the other people's starter. It's fine.
Yours is great with its punny name.
So what,
Clearly, we have thoughts on this.
so what was the? So you go to school, culinary school for a little while. COVID hits. You go into the restaurant. What was the biggest shock or difference that you're just like, oh, I thought that I had a handle on this, and now
I do not.
Oh no.
With the restaurant in work in general, or kind of into our business, or both?
Both.
One thing with making our chocolate business a business and not something happening in a restaurant that really struck me like suddenly was that I needed to pay way more attention to how I was formulating our ganaches so that they would be shelf stable. Because in a restaurant, you're just making them and people are eating them either that day or like within the week. And you have control over the storage and you know how old they are. So that was just never really a concern. And then I was doing more research on like making ganaches in a professional setting through other chocolatiers that have businesses. And that was one of the main things that they were like, you need to know the shelf life of your fillings. And I was like, wow, why have I never thought of that? Yeah. You're handing them off to people who all the time they're like, oh, I just want to save them and look at them. And I'm like, how long are you saving them?
Yeah, like,
so that was like, oh I really need to think about this.
Is my husband your customer? I get so mad. He will be like, will you make pretzels?
X. Yeah.
Pretzels. It's always pretzels. And I'm like, sure. And he'll like eat 2 of them right away. And then he'll just like let them rot. Because he's just like, I'm saving them for a special occasion. I'm like, I live here.
That's come and gone, bro.
I can make more of them.
Yeah.
And now I'm just ticked that you like, I did all this work and now they're stale.
Rock hard.
So
eat your treats, people.
That was a huge one was, just being more aware of that and handing them off to people and being like, okay, they're good for this amount of time. Enjoy them at your leisure. Mm-hmm. Ideally, they're best before 3 weeks.
We recommend.
Recommended time frame now, also, which is pretty good for like a item without preservatives in it and something handmade. Like a lot of baked goods are good for less than a week before you got to move past them. Yeah. So that does offer us some flexibility, which is really nice.
I don't think they would last 3 weeks at my house.
No. Nothing chocolate would last 3 days in my house.
No. So you can give us whatever kind of ganache you have because we'll
if it's about to turn, you know where to bring it. We'll take care of that.
No problem.
We'll take care of it. We'll clean that up.
So is it just you in your business or do you have employees?
We don't have any employees. My boyfriend and I own it, so we're co-owners.
Okay.
And he has been with me since the beginning, so we've been co-owners for the 3.5 years. He actually was one of the huge supporters of us finding a place to kind of take the business further. Mm-hmm. So I'm really grateful to have him by my side.
What's his name?
His name is Jeff.
Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. We love supportive partners, Jeff.
We love it.
So you decided to take that leap and open your own business. Were you, obviously there's like an element where you're like, this could be amazing or this could flop. So how is it when you're like taking those first steps to start doing that and like the emotions behind that, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Ironically, it took a long time to get started just because I couldn't think of a name that felt right.
That was the holdup.
We came up with so many names, and every time we would say them, we were just like, oh, that's cringy.
Yes!
I don't like that. Like, I don't know. That's not it. Like, it's like when you're naming like a pet or something, you're like, I'll know it when I see it.
Yes,
like,
or your child, honestly.
I think it's probably harder to name a business than naming my pet.
Yeah, because it just feels so permanent.
If I name my pet something stupid, then that's just funny.
Yeah, but if it's like a stupid business name, people are going to go, that's stupid.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, like you want to be known for this, like, and then you can't really backtrack on it a year in and be like, nah, I'm going to change it now.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a huge obstacle to like get our paperwork started because then you had to put that on all the paperwork that you're signing up for licenses and insurance and all that stuff. So that was kind of a weird obstacle right at the beginning.
So how did you land on Nibbs?
We floated a ton of ideas to people. Finally, like came up with Nibbs just with one B, Nibs, and we're like, yeah, that sounds great. Like cocoa nibs, and we make small things. People were like, oh, you mean like nibbles? We're like, not quite, but I guess that kind of works.
Sure.
Right.
So we put in the paperwork for it, submitted the stuff to the state to like make your LLC, and then they turned it down, and I was like, like we were so dead set on this name.
Yeah.
And there was some overlapping business name with some other doing business as something completely unrelated. And I was just like heartbroken at the time. I was like, we worked so hard to think of this. Like, how can we think of
Now
something
we're back
else?
at square one.
All we did was throw in that extra B, and then it was good to go.
Yeah, it turns out.
Some things are just out of your hands. You're
Yeah.
like, you know what? Sure. 2 B's, why not?
Yeah.
Or
Which
people
kind
think
of-
there's a deeper meaning. You're like, no, it's just, we just needed.
Yeah. And it kind of worked with the like nibbles aspect that we were
Yes.
going with at the time. So we're like, okay, I guess that works.
Yeah. So what are your favorite treats?
We have a few seasonal flavors that I love. And some of them I have available right now. S'mores is one of my favorites. It has some wonderful textural components with marshmallow and graham cracker. And we have a creamy milk chocolate ganache inside the entire thing. So that one is something we make during the summertime. Another one very similar is lemon meringue pie. So again,
yeah.
marshmallow and graham cracker, but then with lemon ganache. We have one during Christmas time that is a salted caramel turtle pecan.
Oh, wow.
Also wonderful textures in that one.
Those are all buzzwords that my mother, who will not listen to this, but my mother would be very into. She's not a techie gal. Shout out to my mom, but she'll never hear this.
So a lot of my favorite flavors are ones that have like crunchy or salty components with them, or acidic ones. Like we have a raspberry cheesecake that's also super fun. That one's a Valentine's Day flavor.
Do you have Easter flavors?
Yes, yeah. The spring set that we have right now has that lemon meringue flavor in it, as well as strawberries and cream.
Ooh.
And we have a coconut lime in dark chocolate, and then a blueberry cookie
We'll
flavor.
be following you back.
Yeah. We will be, if you see a car tailing you, that's
Don't worry, it's fine.
yeah. So everything's cool.
So, I mean, we've talked about baking pastry is very regimented. There are rules, but the creative piece comes in when you can make new flavors. Do you enjoy putting different flavor combinations together?
And like experimenting
yeah.
with that. Oh, that'd be fun.
It is tricky in a sense that with the baking, you kind of don't know how it's going to turn out until it's done. So you really got to like pay attention to things you already know and how you can alter that so that you're not doing, 80 recipes and not getting anywhere. So I usually have like a base recipe I start with,
Sure.
or I look to other chocolatiers who release their recipes and start with that and kind of adjust it from there. One that's really hard to do is like infusions. It's just something that you have to make it, wait, and see how it turns out before you can adjust it versus something that might have cinnamon in it. You can just add some more.
Right.
But no, I love like combining different fruit components, like our raspberry cheesecake one. That recipe I can use almost any fruit puree that exists and sub that out. So there's a lot of alterations that can be made just with your base recipes to work with, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever made one that's just a flop?
Oh, yeah.
That you were like, this is going to be so good, and then
Yes,
it wasn't.
it was
and you're
terrible.
like,
I think I know how I would fix it now that I have some more experience, but it was a pina colada flavor attempt. But
I
I
would
just
love that.
used artificial flavorings and it was garbage.
Yeah.
Now I think I would use pineapple puree and make that like a gel like we have in our other fruit bonbons. And then our coconut lime ganache uses coconut puree and do that for the coconut part. So I think that would be a lot better.
You've already problem solved it.
Yeah, we'll have
Coming
it
this
made out.
summer,
Yeah, add that
pina
to the
colada. Yeah.
Yes.
Heard it here first.
Yeah. This is an MCC made exclusive.
Devin, wait up! You've been at MCC for 2 years and you're ready to
Transfer to a 4-year college? Yeah, I knocked out my gen eds and now I'm transferring those credits.
Wow! I bet your mom thinks you're so
Smart? Tell me about it. We save thousands in tuition.
Now that's a smart way to start a 4-year degree.
That's Metropolitan Community College.
Knock out your gen eds in 2 years before transferring to a 4-year university. Get started at mccneb.edu/me. Classes start June 5th.
This is me at MCC.
What do you feel like is the most rewarding part of your job, owning this business, any of it?
I love getting to like sample our chocolates out at events. We do one in the summer called Pace Interactive, which is a fundraiser for the building that the Kitchen Council is in. So that building houses like Midwest Ballet Company. There's also a theater, so orchestra rehearsals can happen there. They have an art gallery upstairs. There's local artist studios as well. I don't know. It's an arts collaborative building, so there's lots of resources pouring into that space. And all of the donors come and celebrate the building for Pace Interactive, and we get to hand out our chocolates to everybody. And of course, who isn't excited to receive a chocolate?
Oh, yeah.
So it's
I don't know
really
them if they're
fun
not.
seeing people's reactions and getting excited about trying the different flavors that we have at that event.
I think that's why I love to cook, and I do love feeding others. And there's like a saying that like cooking and baking is like, it's like the only art that like truly nourishes someone. And I do love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so satisfying. So I get that feeling.
Yeah. So, if you were to go back and tell yourself something before you started culinary school or started your business, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh, there's a lot. Finding time to rest would be a huge one. When I was in culinary school on team, it was just go all the time. And I was surrounded by people that also had that mindset. So I was just like running all the time, working, you're prepping for class, like you're studying. And I just kind of carried that over into my daily life. And then it gets really exhausting at some point. So finding time to rest, doing things that are not your job, trying to get more into like reading or doing yoga or going just outside in general.
Just taking that time.
Yeah, taking some time to do other things. That way you can be truly excited and driven when you do come back to work. So that's a huge one. I think not necessarily that I am afraid of this, but just like being able to continue learning. Sometimes I feel like you just get overwhelmed with everything and you're just like, I don't know how to like receive anymore. But yeah, just like looking for opportunities to go and absorb info from other people. I did a master class at the Chicago Chocolate Academy last May. That was an amazing experience. I wish I would have done that years ago. It was everything that I have like piecemealed together over 4 years, all given to me in like 3 days. And I was like, wow, this would have been a game changer to have
had I
4
known.
years ago. So yeah, having sought something like that out, I think would have been really a drastic advantage.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before, but there is just something. I think our culinary program is incredible, but for any job, you're in school, you're learning the things you really think you have a good handle on it.
Yeah.
And then you go out and
To the real world.
and you're like, oh, what?
Yeah. This isn't exactly how they taught me to do it. Yeah.
What do you mean I have to buy my own butter? Buy my own butter. I don't know. What
Yeah.
an example. I could not come up with anything else besides buy my own butter.
Buy my own butter.
I have to make sure my ganache is shelf stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that didn't occur.
Yeah, I guess are there things like that you you're like, oh wow, I did not see that one coming.
Oh, yeah. So with chocolate, you have to temper it for it to set correctly. And a critical piece of information that I did not put two pieces together on was that cocoa butter is the main thing in the chocolate being tempered. You're not tempering the other ingredients like the cocoa mass, the sugar, the milk powder. That's not being tempered. It's just the cocoa butter.
Right.
So on the outside of our chocolates, we decorate the mold with colored cocoa butter to get the nice designs and shine and everything. Did not put those pieces together that the cocoa butter needed to be tempered to go in the molds. So I just was melting it and putting it on, and every once in a while I just have a whole tray that turns out bad. And like they chip off or the design gets stuck in the mold. And I was like, why is this happening? Just was doing that for like a year and did not understand that those two things were linked together. So now we temper the cocoa butter. That turns out great. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew?
That is one of those things. I'm sure when you're in it, you're like, yeah, what the heck is happening?
Yeah.
And then as soon as it clicks, you're like,
Oh my gosh.
You're like,
wow.
no doy.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought I was doing when I was tempering my chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And here we are. Now we know.
Like your sweatshirt says chocolate and desserts. So what else do you make besides chocolates at your shop?
Yeah, we, again, we were kind of thinking about names. At the time, we were making more dessert options and baked goods. Like we were doing cinnamon rolls and trying to do like little mini tarts and more patisserie style things. But all of that stuff just has such a limited shelf life.
Sure.
And then without like a storefront or places that you're selling them regularly, it's just a lot to keep available. So I think eventually we would like to bring that back in if we have a place or a storefront, have a like patisserie section. But for now, it's just chocolates.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to offer desserts eventually.
Yes.
But
So like you do most of your business online, correct?
yeah, we have an online store. We're at nibbschocolates.com.
Shout out.
With two B's.
Two B's. But we also do a lot of in-person events like pop-ups. And we have a few wholesale accounts now or like retailer partnerships. Our most successful has been Godega Market. Shout out to Godega.
Oh, yes.
They're amazing. Our other retail partners who are also amazing. We have Heirloom Fine Foods in Millwork Commons. And then we have Blooms in Rockbrook Village. They're a florist. And we have Ellsworth Crossing out in Waterloo. They're a farm to fork market selling other locally crafted goods.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, on your online storefront, like if somebody wanted, like you mostly do chocolate, but if they wanted other desserts, like could they contact you and ask you for those, like for a wedding or a birthday or whatever, or a Thursday morning podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we've had a few custom order requests. Like we did some like mini s'mores tarts a while back. I was doing a few wedding cakes for friends and family mostly, but I've kind of tapered away from that because it's just, I call them, I was like, I only do low stakes cakes.
Yes.
I was like, I can make your
that.
child's four-year-old birthday cake or something, but I was like, I'm not doing any more wedding cakes. That's too stressful.
I respect that.
No, and you know what's funny is when we had Brian O'Malley in here, he was also talking about how nerve-wracking like doing a wedding cake was. So
Yeah. It's kind of funny. It's no different than any other cake you're making. You're going to make it exactly the same, but then you just have this anxiety about
taking
it.
pictures of it,
Yeah,
and then, like
it's
there's a
like,
whole
it has to be
there's a whole
perfect.
to do around cutting it. You got to like everyone's looking.
yeah, there's a lot. It's like a cake with the most eyes on it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, we did have a fun special request last summer for Italian rainbow cookies.
Oh, tell us more.
They're like a little layered shortbread cookie cake situation.
Wow, so many words I love.
But the colors are like red, white,
Sure.
and green, and then there's chocolate on both sides.
Very Italian.
It was actually a really fun recipe to work with because when I was making it, I was like, this is not right. This does not look good.
This is not turning
This
out.
is not it. I'm going to try
like the
again.
pina colada darts.
I am glad I stuck with it though because did not trust the process. I put it in the oven. I was like, that's going to be garbage. We're going to have to start again. They actually turned out great. I was impressed. I was like trimming them all because we had an order for like 48 pieces or something. So then all the trim that I had left, I was just snacking on all day.
And you were like,
They
wow,
ended
this
up being
actually
really
rules.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, those were really tasty.
So this episode will air before Easter and before Mother's Day. So I assume that is peak chocolate
Oh yeah.
time.
Big chocolate time. That's always big chocolate time for me. But
Yeah. I mean, every day is big chocolate time. for
Yeah.
me. But as far as buying it is, and I can cut this, but do you run any like specials for Easter or Mother's Day, or is it just?
So I'll actually be finishing our spring collection this week.
Okay.
So it'll be available for Easter and Mother's Day. That one has those 4 flavors listed earlier, or lemon meringue pie, strawberries and cream, coconut lime, and blueberry cookie. And then I have some really cute filled bunny bonbons. I call them bunny bonbons. They
As you
are
should.
like an oversized bonbon. They're not a like traditional Easter bunny shape.
Yeah.
But they are shaped like a little egg and they have cute little ears on them. They're adorable.
I love that.
So those are really fun. That one has our s'mores flavor and a strawberry marshmallow filling.
Again, when you see a car ball,
Yeah.
don't be alarmed.
Yeah.
Oh, another fun one that we do during April are our I call them our April Fool's Day Easter eggs.
Oh,
They are a cute little fried egg bonbon where we have the little yellow chocolate in the middle, but then there's white chocolate on the bottom to make it look like a fried egg.
that's so cute.
I want one.
I even do little black speckles on the top for some pepper. But they're passion fruit and white chocolate flavored.
Again, you
Again.
keep saying things.
So many buzzwords.
You've already made the sale, and then you just keep going. And I'm like, well, yeah. Now, and for those reasons, I'm in.
And for those, yeah. I was already in, but now I'm like way in. Yeah.
Do you find it difficult to kind of balance the creative aspect of like I'm doing my, I assume it's your passion, my passion of making these chocolates and desserts, but also I have to keep my overhead. I have to do all these things. I have to market my business. I have to inventory. I have to do all those things. Like I know a lot of people whose creative pursuits are then squashed by then just the mundane.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
real
Like-
world side of it all.
Of like, oh God, I got to do my taxes.
The adult
Oh, yeah.
side of it.
Yes, all those things you listed are just one of the many hats that you have to wear. I always joke with people like I signed up to work in a kitchen, not be a web designer.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
Does having a business degree help in some of this, though, that you already sort
Some
of
of
had?
it, yeah. I think
yeah.
with like understanding financials and being able to do the math aspect of things, I feel pretty comfortable with that. But all the tech stuff or like graphic design, I didn't realize how huge of a part that would be for making labels. And if you can do that in house, there's just so much that you don't have to outsource
Right.
for that. And then packaging is a huge one, being the person that has to figure out like the dimensions and the size and how much you can store.
And you're like, this one looks really great. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, this
This
can't
is terrible.
open. I can't open it.
Yeah, the user experience of the packaging is important too. Like if the person's trying to open it and they can't, they're like, well, this is annoying. Like, you know, when you're trying to tear open a vac sealed plastic thing and you can't get it open.
The
It's
scissors
so
in the back
frustrating.
seal, and you're like, I need the scissors now.
Yeah.
Or when you were young and you would push the bottom of the chip bag until it would pop open.
Explode. Yeah. Yeah, so many things like that where you're trying to find time to tackle all those in addition to essentially working 40 hours a week in a kitchen.
Now, because you said you wish you did it earlier, are you good about then stepping away and having me time to recharge?
I feel like in the last 6 months to a year, that has been more of a priority than it was at the beginning.
Good job.
Again, at the beginning, I was just like, go,
Hustle.
like just push. Yeah. But then eventually you just can't push anymore.
No, because then you burn out and that's...
Yeah, so making a lot more effort to do that as of recently, and it's been helping.
Good. It always does.
Yes.
Were there any instructors here that really helped shape how you approach your business and how you approach your pastry? Is there anyone that you can think of that really helped shape any of that?
Yeah, definitely my time on Culinary Team Nebraska with Chef Chase Grove and Chef Brian O'Malley. Both of those people were huge in my dedication to the little details. I remember Chef O'Malley saying, if you can't care about the small details, at what point do you care about the big details?
Whoa.
Just understanding that, yes, you can push yourself to care for if it's a big deal, but you truly care if you care about the small things. Mm-hmm. I remember arguing with him about why does it matter if the tape on the deli is straight? He's like, it matters. And now I understand.
That's so chefy too. Because my husband works in service, and he would also say it matters.
So all the little details really build up to your ability to succeed in the big details. Mm-hmm. And then again, just your dedication to your craft. A craftsman doesn't blame his tools. All of those cute little things that I keep in the back of my brain, are definitely things that shape how I work today.
What do you see the future of how do you see the future of your business? What are your goals for the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I would love to have a cute little boutique storefront. I am waiting for the right place and time with that.
We're manifesting it.
Yes.
Right here and now.
If that doesn't happen, though, I am totally fine with trying to go work for someone doing what I want to do, and taking a step back and learning a little bit more from someone else who's already done the small business storefront, and maybe seeing what I do and don't like about wherever that is. That way I can just kind of take some time to really gather even more than I already have at my disposal and save some money.
Right.
And then dive back into that maybe when I have some more resources on hand. But would love a cute little store with a beautiful pastry case, well lit.
We will be first
nice
in
little
line.
two-seater in the window or something.
I love it.
Yeah, that's fun. I can only imagine. I mean, it's the same and different, working in a restaurant. I mean, it's when you're doing the desserts and pastry for a restaurant, it's not. I said this when we talked to Brian O'Malley. It's not like the Bear, I assume, with pastry, because you're not making those per order. They're making the meals.
Yeah.
And he's not slapping the donut out of your hands like on the Bear.
So, I guess, do you feel a big difference between the restaurant environment and what you're doing now, or is it pretty similar?
No, it's pretty similar. For pastry, a lot of the time you're working by yourself, either before or after things have happened for the day. So it's usually not during service. You're either there really early or really late. Again, working by yourself, kind of taking, the space you need in the kitchen before everything starts happening. And that's pretty similar to how I operate now. It's just the two of us, so it's pretty relaxing. At least there's not this stress of
the rest of
I
the
need
kitchen.
86 peanut butter jelly sandwiches right now.
And I'll cry. I need those peanut butter jelly sandwiches right now.
Listen, Agrat made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
eat
I
it.
would ask no questions.
So you're working in the restaurant. Are you tailoring your desserts to what their menus are, or do they just like have a set, like these are the desserts you make?
Yeah, at the time when I was at Arcurant and Mertz, Arcurant has a weekly changing tasting menu. So once a week we'd meet on Monday and be kind of like, here's where we're headed with this week's menu. Every position, like Garmo, pasta, grill, everyone would kind of have an idea of where they were headed with their dishes. And I kind of had, that was again when I had like all these ideas bubbling over in my head. So I just like would pull from those, kind of given the like seasonal ingredients we were already using or things we already had, and like kind of piece those together, which was so fun.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I had a ton of fun with that. Eventually you kind of get to this point where you're like, oh my God, I'm running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Because I was at Mertz at the same time. So I'm trying to keep separate ideas for that. At Mertz, I kind of had a more, not standardized, but like kind of direction that the desserts were going. Like I kind of had
Structure.
one cake, one creamy or pudding type dessert, one ice cream based one like dairy free or vegan or gluten free option. Like you kind of had these different categories to work in, and then you could mix and match again with the flavors in that aspect. But eventually it did kind of get a lot of components, again, like how I do with our ganaches, where I have base component for something and then you can throw in different flavor profiles on top of that.
Well, I could talk about desserts all day
Yes.
because I love a dessert. Love
Same.
a dessert. Again, plug for Easter, Mother's Day, a Thursday morning podcast.
Again, we're just saying there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to order some cute little treats, Nibbs.com,
NibbsChocolates.com.
NibbsChocolates.com.
And are you on like Instagram, Facebook too?
We
People
sure
can
are.
Find you there.
Facebook is just our Nibbs Chocolates and Desserts. It's a page. And then Instagram is Nibbs with 2 B's _ Omaha.
All right.
Get on it, people.
Yes.
Before Emma and I
order
eat it
now.
all.
Yeah. Before they're, oh no, they're sold out.
Oh gosh, again.
Not these little eggs.
Thank you for chatting with us today.
Of course, it was fun.
It
Yes.
was.
I love talking about chocolate.
Yeah, same. This is just gonna be a food podcast.
Yes, we're headed that way, I think.
All right. Well, make sure you guys order your chocolates. And Lindy, it was so nice talking to you.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So fun. MCC Made with Emma Frazier and Catherine Ricks. Produced by Emma Frazier. Production support by Herdat.
Got a question for us? Email mccmade@mccneb.edu, and your question may be answered on a future podcast.